Today, we're talking about something that took me far too long to learn: the power of saying no. If you're between 55 and 75, listen up. These 5 things to say no to might just be the secret to a happier, more fulfilling life. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's chat about making your golden years truly shine. 1. Saying no to every darn invitation. Back in my day, I used to say yes to every invite that came my way. Barbecues, birthday bashes, retirement parties, you name it, I was there. I thought that's what being a good friend or family member meant. I'd drag myself to events, even when I was bone-tired, just because I didn't want to let anyone down. But let me tell you something. Not all of those gatherings were worth my time. As you get older, your body starts to complain more. It's like an old car. It still runs, but it needs more maintenance, and it doesn't recover as quickly when you push it too hard. That extra slice of cake, it'll stick around your waist longer than your neighbor's bad jokes stick in your mind. That third glass of wine, it'll have you feeling rough for days, not hours. I remember one summer when I said yes to 3 weddings in a row. By the third one, I was so exhausted, I could barely keep my eyes open during the ceremony. I missed out on the joy of the occasion because I was too tired to fully participate. That's when I realized something had to change. But it's not just about the physical toll. It's about the mental and emotional energy, too. Sometimes saying yes to one thing means saying no to something else, something that might be more important to you. I learned this lesson the hard way when I missed my grandson's first baseball game because I had committed to attending a colleague's retirement party. The look of disappointment on my grandson's face. Well, that taught me more than any self-help book ever could. So, I started being more selective. I learned to prioritize the events that really mattered to me. For everything else, I found that a simple, "Thanks for thinking of me, but I'll have to pass this time," works wonders. You'd be surprised how understanding people can be when you're honest with them. I remember when my granddaughter got married. I said no to the rowdy bachelor party, but made sure I was in top form for the big day. The joy on her face when I danced with her. That was worth more than 100 other parties. That's the kind of moment you want to save your energy for. So, learn to be picky. Choose the events that really matter to you. Your body will thank you, and you'll have more energy for the things that truly light up your life. Remember, it's not about the quantity of social engagements, it's about the quality of the connections you make. 2. Saying no to pointless arguments. Oh, the arguments I've had in my lifetime. Politics, sports, the right way to make a cup of tea. You name it, I've argued about it. I used to think that winning an argument meant I was right, and being right was the most important thing. But you know what? Most of those heated debates were about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. I remember a particularly nasty spat I had with my neighbor about politics. We were both so convinced we were right, so determined to prove the other wrong. We didn't speak for months after. And you know what changed because of that argument? Absolutely nothing. The world kept spinning, politicians kept politicking, and all we'd done was damage a perfectly good neighborly relationship. As you grow older, you realize that not every hill is worth dying on. Your heart doesn't need the extra workout from getting all riled up. And let's face it, most arguments don't change anyone's mind anyway. They just leave both parties feeling frustrated and misunderstood. I learned to ask myself a few questions before diving into a debate. Is this really important? Will arguing about this change anything? Is it worth potentially damaging this relationship? More often than not, the answer was no. These days, that same neighbor and I focus on our shared love of gardening instead. Our conversations are much more pleasant and productive. We trade tips about growing tomatoes instead of trading barbs about politicians. And you know what? I've learned a lot more from those friendly chats than I ever did from our arguments. That's not to say you should never stand up for what you believe in. There are times when it's important to make your voice heard. But choose those times wisely. Save your energy for the battles that really matter. So next time you feel your blood pressure rising over a disagreement, take a deep breath. Count to 10 if you need to. Ask yourself, is this really worth my energy? If not, just smile and say, we'll have to agree to disagree on this one. Then change the subject to something more pleasant. You'll be amazed at how much peace this brings to your life. Remember, at the end of the day, being kind is more important than being right. And your stress levels will thank you for choosing peace over pointless debates. 3. Saying no to pleasing everyone. Now this is a tough one. I spent far too many years being a people pleaser, always saying yes, always putting others first. I thought that's what it meant to be a good person. I'd bend over backwards, trying to make everyone happy, often at the expense of my own well-being. And you know where it got me. Exhausted and resentful. Let me let you in on a little secret. Trying to please everyone is like trying to nail jelly to a wall, messy and pointless. You can't make everyone happy, no matter how hard you try. There's always going to be someone who's not satisfied, who wants more from you. I used to babysit my grandkids every weekend because I thought that's what a good grandfather should do. Don't get me wrong, I love those little rascals more than anything. But it was wearing me out. I was so tired that I couldn't fully enjoy our time together. I'd catch myself watching the clock, counting down the hours until I could rest. When I finally worked up the courage to explain to my kids that I needed some weekends to rest, you know what happened? They understood. In fact, they felt terrible that they hadn't realized how tired I was. Now, I watch the grandkids every other weekend. And you know what? Our time together is even more special because I'm not exhausted. I have the energy to really engage with them, to be present. That taught me an important lesson. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. It allows you to show up as your best self for the people you care about. When you're constantly running on empty, you don't have much to give to others anyway. So start putting yourself first sometimes. It's not selfish, it's self-care. Remember, no is a complete sentence. You don't always need to explain yourself or make up excuses. A simple, I'm not able to do that, is enough. Focus on pleasing the most important person, yourself. Because here's the truth. The people who truly care about you will understand. They'll want you to take care of yourself. And those who get upset when you set boundaries, well, they're probably not the kind of people you need in your life anyway. It's like they say on airplanes, put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. You can't pour from an empty cup. So fill your own cup first, and then share from your abundance. You'll find that when you take care of yourself, you actually have more to give to others. And the giving comes from a place of love and choice, not obligation and resentment. 4. Saying no to gossip and negativity. Gossip is like fast food. It might seem satisfying in the moment, but it leaves you feeling lousy afterward. And let me tell you, as you get older, you realize just how toxic negativity can be. It's like a poison that seeps into your life, coloring everything with its dark hues. I remember being part of a seniors club where gossip ran rampant. Every meeting was like a rundown of who did what, who said what, and who was mad at whom. At first, I'll admit, it was kind of exciting. It made me feel like I was in the know. But after a while, I started to notice something. I'd leave those meetings feeling drained and slightly dirty, like I needed to take a shower to wash off all the negativity. It was affecting my outlook on life. I found myself becoming more cynical, more quick to judge. That's not who I wanted to be. I wanted to see the good in people, to spread positivity instead of negativity. So, I started a good news-only policy during our meetings. At first, people looked at me like I had two heads. They didn't know what to talk about if they couldn't gossip. But you know what? The whole atmosphere changed. People started looking forward to sharing positive stories. We celebrated each other's victories, no matter how small. We lifted each other up instead of tearing each other down. It wasn't easy at first. Old habits die hard, as they say. But the more we practiced focusing on the positive, the easier it became. And the impact it had on our lives was remarkable. People started leaving the meetings feeling energized and uplifted instead of drained and grumpy. When someone starts gossiping now, I try to change the subject. Or better yet, I speak up. I say something like, "I'm not comfortable talking about people behind their backs. Why don't we talk about something more positive?" It might feel awkward at first, but it gets easier. And the peace of mind you get from not engaging in negativity, that's priceless. Remember, what you focus on grows. If you focus on negativity and gossip, that's what will flourish in your life. But if you focus on positivity and kindness, that's what will grow. It's like tending a garden. You've got to pull out the weeds of negativity to make room for the flowers of positivity to bloom. And here's another thing. Life's too short to spend it talking about other people. There's so much beauty in the world, so many interesting ideas to discuss, so many dreams to share. Why waste your breath on gossip when you could be talking about things that really matter? So, choose your words wisely. Use them to uplift, to encourage, to spread joy. Be the person who brightens someone's day with a kind word, not the one who darkens it with gossip. Trust me, your spirit will thank you for it. 5. Saying no to overextending yourself. When I was your age, I thought I could do it all. Volunteer at the library, coach Little League, attend every grandkid's recital, and still have energy left over for a night out with friends. I was like a hamster on a wheel, always running, never stopping. I thought being busy meant being productive, being valuable. Let me tell you, that's a recipe for burnout. I used to volunteer at 5 different organizations. 5. I was at a different place every day of the week, giving my time and energy to various causes. Don't get me wrong, they were all worthy causes, but I was spreading myself so thin that I wasn't really making a meaningful impact anywhere. I was exhausted, stressed, and ironically, feeling less fulfilled despite doing so much. It took a health scare. Nothing too serious, thank goodness, but enough to make me take stock of my life, for me to realize something had to change. I couldn't keep burning the candle at both ends. My body was telling me to slow down, and it was high time I listened. So, I sat down and really thought about what was most important to me. What cause did I feel most passionate about? Where did I feel I could make the biggest difference? After some soul-searching, I decided to focus on one organization, a literacy program for underprivileged kids. Now I pour all my volunteer energy into that one cause. And you know what? I feel like I'm making a real difference. I have relationships with the kids I tutor. I see their progress. I feel the impact of my work. And I still have energy left for my family and my hobbies. As we age, our energy isn't as boundless as it once was. And that's okay. It's not about slowing down. It's about being smarter with how we use our energy. It's about quality over quantity. It's better to do one thing well than to do many things halfway. Learn to prioritize. Focus on what truly matters to you. It's okay to step back from commitments that no longer serve you or bring you joy. People might not understand at first. They might even try to make you feel guilty. But remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation for taking care of yourself. And here's something important that took me too long to learn. Schedule downtime. Actually put it in your calendar. Time for rest, for hobbies, for doing absolutely nothing, if that's what you want. Rest isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's what allows you to show up fully for the things you've chosen to commit to. Your future self will thank you for it. Trust me, when you hit 80 like me, you won't look back and wish you'd said yes to more commitments. You'll be grateful for the times you said no, for the space you created in your life for what truly matters. So there you have it, folks. 5 things to start saying no to for a happier, healthier life. Remember, saying no isn't about closing yourself off from the world. It's about opening yourself up to what truly matters. It's about creating space in your life for joy, for peace, for the things that light you up inside. It might feel uncomfortable at first. Change always does. You might worry about letting people down or missing out. But trust me, as someone who's been around the block a few times, learning to say no is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. So go on, flex that no muscle. Start small if you need to, but start. Your future self will thank you for it. After all, these golden years should be just that, golden. They should be filled with the people and activities you love, not cluttered with obligations and energy-draining commitments. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a hammock with my name on it and a good book waiting to be read. Remember, life's too short for bad coffee and unnecessary yeses. Here's to saying no to the things that don't matter, so you can say a big, hearty yes to the things that do. But before I go, let me leave you with a few final thoughts. You see, learning to say no isn't just about avoiding things. It's about making room for the things that truly matter. It's about crafting a life that feels authentic to you, not one that's shaped by other people's expectations. When you say no to endless social obligations, you're saying yes to quality time with the people who matter most. When you say no to pointless arguments, you're saying yes to peace of mind and harmonious relationships. When you say no to pleasing everyone, you're saying yes to self-care and genuine connections. When you say no to gossip and negativity, you're saying yes to positivity and personal growth. And when you say no to overextending yourself, you're saying yes to a balanced, fulfilling life. Remember, my friends, you've earned the right to live life on your own terms. You've weathered storms, celebrated victories, and learned valuable lessons along the way. Now it's time to use that wisdom to create the life you want. Don't be afraid to ruffle a few feathers as you set your boundaries. The people who truly care about you will understand. And those who don't? Well, maybe they need to do some growing of their own. There you have it, 5 powerful no's that can lead to a big, beautiful yes to life. Remember, it's never too late to start prioritizing your happiness. These years should be golden, so make 'em shine. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more life lessons from this old-timer. And hey, drop a comment below. Which no will you start practicing today? Remember, life's too short for unnecessary yeses. Until next time, keep smiling and living life on your own terms.